So Julian Assange case. Talk to me about October 8th. Are you planning on doing anything in Moscow? How well versed are they over there about what's happening? Are they as supportive as we would expect they would be because they're calling out NATO and everything that's going on there? Talk to me about like that from a Russia perspective, because that's fascinating. We never really hear that.
Right. So I'm actually going to be in between Brazil and Florida during that time, so I will not be able to attend. But people should definitely follow Misty, Sarcasm Stardust. Comrade Misty is Putin's buddy
Mm-hmm.
on Twitter for more information on the Washington one. I know there'll be others. There's going to be one in London at the same time, which I would have liked to have gone to as well, but I won't be here. I'll be on my way back a few days later. But in terms of Julian Assange being something they talk about, yeah, I mean, he's definitely talked about, at least on RT oftentimes, and he's definitely a name that people recognize here, specifically because of the persecution from the United States of an Australian citizen that has nothing to do with the United States, and of course the fact that he is in British prison in Belmarsh because of exposing, U.S. war crimes and a lot of the lies of the empire. So he's often talked about. His case is often talked about. I do get into several arguments, is what people call him, because he's not a whistleblower. He's a publisher and a journalist. So I've had to correct a few people on that. A whistleblower would be Edward Snowden, Chelsea Manning. He is a publisher and a journalist, and so his crime, of course, is real journalism through the act of publishing via WikiLeaks. And so, yes, he's definitely somebody that, from a Russian perspective, it just shows the hypocrisy of the United States, talking about freedom and democracy and going after Putin for saying he, censors media while simultaneously censoring RT, censoring, oppositional media, labeling people Russia state affiliated media, and really going after a journalist who isn't an American citizen with the most ridiculous accusations, basically killing him essentially. So yeah, I mean, definitely Russia, you know, um, talks about that, and of course also Edward Snowden is somewhere in Russia. So that's also another part of it. And as a journalist right now, I feel safer here than I would living in DC. I don't like going to DC. It gives me the creeps. And I, just living in the United States, the way things have been going for us, there's been a lot of weird things happening as well. And how the police presence and the surveillance state is expanding so exponentially.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of us are safe, especially with the Ukraine Russia conflict and how people are being put on kill lists. And my good friend and colleague Eva Bartlett is putting her life on the line by going to Donbass and
Mm-hmm.
reporting and doing this. I believe, I always say this all the time. I believe more people need to be on the ground, need to go on the ground, need to go to the places they are talking about. You can give somewhat of a decent analysis from the information you have, but it's nothing compared to actually being on the ground. And this is one of the reasons why I took the venture of coming here, to really see what it's like. And what I see is completely different than what we're told. And I do plan on going to the Donbass as soon as I can, and I'm not working. I will go there, and I will, I want to go to Syria. I want to go to these places because I don't believe in just sitting back in the comfort of my studio and then calling myself a journalist and saying I'm just doing this. I understand that some people can't do it because they have kids and they have this and they have that and whatever the case may be. But at some point, if you're going to be a voice of knowledge for a specific region, you need to go to that region. And this is what Pasta and I tried to do. Even though when we cover elections, it's not the most profitable thing to cover. It's more profitable for us to talk about TYT and how awful they are than it is to talk about the elections in Nicaragua, the elections in Honduras, and then and all of that stuff. So we do it because we believe in the information. We believe in getting this information out. We believe in what we're doing. not because we want to make money. And that's why we didn't make a lot of money, and why we're suppressed and all of that stuff, because that's not what we're doing this for, because we could have totally done it the other way as well, and we
Yeah,
wouldn't be having this conversation.
you guys have never been the clout chasers, as is the word of the week or whatever it is. Yeah, you guys have never chased clout that I've seen. Yeah, you never gone for the big story. You've definitely questioned narratives, even when people didn't want to question those narratives. And again, that's what real journalists do, as our friends over on Rockfin are saying in the Rockfin chat. Shout out to Rockfin chat.